We got the first tweet from Suzu in quite a while talking about the liquidation event that they're trying to go through right now. Some creditors are trying to have been taking their funds, and there's some court orders going out. Suzu tweeted about how the liquidators were not acting in good faith in regards to some token holdings that were under contract by Three Arrows Capital. Three Arrows Capital, of course, does not have the ability to exercise some of these options right now because these court-appointed liquidators are in control of their books. This comes after last Friday, when we found out that Suzu and Kyle Davies, who are the co-founders of Three Arrows Capital, are on the run, or at least they're not in Singapore. Their offices were locked. There was mail stacked in front of the door, and the location and whereabouts of these two crypto behemoths is unknown. David, I want to throw this one over to you. To me, this is just another step in the saga that is 3AC. They went from the top of the crypto world now to the very bottom, and we don't even know where they are.
Yeah, very bottom, and this is kind of discount rebuttal. This is just an attempt to reframe them as the victims when that is clearly not what's going on here. Suzu has tweeted twice about operating in good faith, but both times that was after they have simply disappeared and refused to pay back or even engage in dialogue with people who they owe hundreds of millions of dollars. So he's just brazenly misrepresenting what he's doing. There was some, and I don't know a ton about this, so take this with a grain of salt, but Starkware is the token in question here. That is a project that people have been fairly excited about for a long time. And I saw at least some chatter on Twitter that this may be the first confirmation that Starkware is issuing a token. So that's actually probably more interesting in the big picture than whatever the substance of Suzu's claims are here. So it's whatever. It's just a guy who's backed into a corner, who's saying whatever he, in his little frightened brain, thinks is going to get him out of the trouble that he got himself into. Jen, I saw your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this isn't the first time we've seen this story, right? A crypto company blows up, retail customers are affected, and then the founders just disappear. It's kind of disheartening to see that this keeps happening over and over again. I was reading that both co-founders were on a Zoom call last Friday with their cameras off and muted, just listening in. And I wouldn't be surprised if we just never see or hear from these guys again. And everyone who was affected by this are just kind of left with their hands up in the air. I would love to see more accountability in the future and some kind of guardrails put in place so that these people who these people can't just run away and disappear. It seems like it's becoming too commonplace. Like, we hear about this too often in crypto, and I don't want to hear about that anymore. David?
My only optimistic take on that is just that I think that in this case, it's too big a deal for them to simply disappear. Best case scenario for them, perhaps, is they're able to find some, as I've said before, non-extradition country they can flee to, but, they'll never be able to return. If they do that, they'll never be able to return to the United States, to other Western countries where if they simply disappeared, there would be warrants issued for their arrests. I will say they do have legal teams in place that are doing formal processes. There is some procedural stuff going on. I guarantee you they're thinking about disappearing completely, but I don't think that that's actually going to work out for them. I mean, this is at a scale that we haven't seen before, and the consequences are going to be commensurate.
Could I chime in on this?
Please.
I actually want to say, because I read the tweet that he put out, and it didn't sit right with me. When you're talking about having some sort of good faith or even using a comment like that, it just kind of shows how egotistical you are. The fact that they did not show good faith to other parties that they were dealing with was very, very disheartening. So why should people show them the same type of decency and respect? So that aside, but I don't think they're actually going to be able to full on flee. They can try to, but at the same time, they're very, very well known. People are going to spot them somewhere. It's going to get out. They would really have to kind of abandon everything that they have. They're in the court system now. They have a team of attorneys that's, going to try to help and protect them and whatnot, because that's their attorney's job. But at the same time, I don't feel sorry for them. And I also want to, anybody that's watching right now, people that you do business with in crypto, they're not your friends, they're your allies. And just remember that an ally can also turn into an enemy at the same time, well, at a different time when it doesn't, when the narrative doesn't suit them anymore.